had been liaising with Mr. Vasili?
No, but I mean, I will not mention anybody here, but we had a common friend, and this common friend was also during the war in Kosovo.
Yes, precisely. As indeed, obviously, there was influx of intelligence representatives when the war came to an end. But I think you were asked at one point by Judge Barter, well, why would what would qualify Mr. Vasili for such a role? Do you agree with me that if he had been working with foreign intelligence agencies during the war, that would be something that would qualify him to continue in that role in the PGOC?
I don't know whether he was working during the war with intelligence, Western intelligence. I know that he did it after the war.
Exactly.
That for sure.
Exactly. And indeed, he wouldn't have been permitted by the Western powers to occupy that role unless they supported him. If they had wanted a different person in that role, would you agree they would have ensured a change?
Well, I think you exaggerate the almightiness of the international community, but I think they would. It's fair to say that they would not have worked with him hadn't they had established a trusted relationship and hadn't there been some results in their cooperation.
Again, without mentioning any person or any country, there is one particularly powerful intelligence agency that had been working in Kosovo during the war, but also very significantly in the period afterwards. Is that right?
I think it's fair to say that there were more than one intelligence agency being active in Kosovo.
And an important part of their concern was to ensure that Kosovo didn't become a honeypot to attract Islamists. Would you agree with that?
Yes, we had problems of an influx of money from Gulf states, sudden shooting up of mosques and of certain imams preaching in the way which probably is not the European tradition.
Clearly that would have been something of interest to those intelligence agencies that were happy to work with Mr. Vasili in that regard, correct?
I would assume so.
One of the questions Judge Barter asked you in that connection related to intelligence within a country and international relationships between intelligence agencies. And you were asked, first of all, were you aware that the KLA allegedly had an intelligence service during the war? And you say, I wasn't surprised. Sorry, I wasn't aware, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Correct.
Now, to be clear, as we see from your own work trying to unify from as early as June, July 1998, a unified Albanian position, you know, don't you, that there were intelligence discussions and military discussions taking place with countries outside Kosovo?
I wouldn't know if it was intelligence discussions. I mentioned the meeting of American diplomats with Badr Mahmouti.
Mm-hmm.
Of others, of intelligence, again, I wouldn't know, but I would not be surprised.
Yeah. In your view, how would a guerrilla army that had sprung up in this relatively chaotic and short space of time go about acquiring the skills needed to run an intelligence agency?
I cannot answer that question.
Would it surprise you to think that for example, someone in charge of such an agency would be liaising and receiving support from the Albanian intelligence service.
That would not surprise me.
And indeed, as Western involvement intensified with other agencies associated with and through the Albanian intelligence agencies.
You mean other than Albanian intelligence
Yes.
service? Certainly during the war, for sure.
Yes. There's targeting information, there's territorial information, population movement, and so on and so forth. There's exchanges that take place at that military intelligence level, correct?
I would not be surprised.
Now, you said you knew that certain members of the leadership were outside Kosovo raising money, but weren't, it's again in answer to the same line of questioning. But you
I might not have necessarily said leadership, but there was a network for raising money, correct?
Apologise. You said certain people were in Europe raising money, but you weren't sure what the nature of the intelligence functions would have been outside in Europe. Have I got that wrong?
No, I would not. What I try to distinguish is I have no knowledge of a intelligence structure outside of Kosovo. What I was aware of is that there was a structure to collect funds. I think it was called Homeland Calling, to get money to be able to equip the KLA in Kosovo.
Yes, yes. The answer, just for the record, is I know that outside Kosovo, they were trying to collect funds, but that doesn't necessarily mean intelligence service. We've seen a document